All right, let's talk about protein. We're going to break down the real science behind how it can help you lose fat while actually holding on to your muscle. If that sounds like what you're after, well, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
So let's just cut right to the chase, right? This is the question everybody has. Forget just losing weight. How do you actually change your body for the better? What's the real number we should be aiming for when it comes to protein?
You know, the answer for most experts is surprisingly simple. It's 1 gram of protein for every pound of your ideal body weight. So if your goal is to be a lean, healthy 150 pounds, then boom, 150 grams of protein a day. It's a clear, simple target to aim for.
Okay, but as soon as you throw a number like that out there, I know what some of you are thinking. The alarm bells go off. Because let's be honest, the whole idea of a high-protein diet has been surrounded by a ton of fear for years.
And here they are, the usual suspects, right? We've all heard these things linked to eating more protein. But here's the thing, and it's really important. For people who are generally healthy, the science just doesn't back up these fears. It's just not there.
In fact, you can flip this whole argument on its head. We know for a fact that a major risk factor for all sorts of diseases, including cancer, is obesity. And what's one of the best tools we have to fight obesity? A diet that's higher in protein. Okay, so let's dig into the evidence, starting with this really cool 12-month study from the University of Illinois. They took 130 people who were overweight and set out to answer a simple question. What happens if you just change the protein, even if the calories stay exactly the same?
So what they did was pretty clever. They split everyone into 2 groups. Group 1 got a pretty standard diet, higher in carbs. The second group got a diet with more protein and fewer carbs. But that wasn't the only thing they changed.
And this is the most important part of the whole setup. The diets were isocaloric. That's just a fancy way of saying both groups ate the exact same number of calories. Both were in a 500-calorie deficit. So any difference in results couldn't be because one group was eating less. It was all about the protein. Now check this out. The other big change was the timing. The standard group did what most of us do. Barely any protein for breakfast and lunch, and then a huge protein bomb at dinner. The other group, they spread their protein out evenly all day. This is a huge piece of the puzzle. So what happened? And remember, nobody was exercising here. This was all diet. The results were kind of shocking. The higher protein group lost 24% more weight. Just think about that. Same calories, but way, way better results. But here's where it gets really good. It wasn't just more weight, it was better quality weight loss. The higher protein folks lost 16 pounds of straight-up fat, while the other group only lost 11. They were losing the right stuff.
And that leads us to the real secret weapon of protein. This is the part that changes everything. It's not just about what you lose, it's about what you get to keep.
And here it is. This chart says it all. When you diet, you almost always lose muscle along with fat. But the higher protein group lost way less muscle. The protein was like a bodyguard for their lean mass, protecting it while the fat was getting burned off.
So that study was fascinating on its own. But it tees up the next obvious question, right? What happens if you take this powerful protein strategy and then add just a little bit of exercise to the mix?
And listen, the best part is the exercise they added was so simple. We're not talking about anything crazy here. Just walking for 30 minutes a few times a week, plus a couple of days of basic bodyweight stuff. Seriously, this is something almost anybody could do.
So what happened when they combined the two? The results just exploded. The group that did high protein plus this simple exercise lost a whopping 46% more weight. That's synergy right there. The two things together were way more powerful than either one alone. And look at the fat loss. It's even more incredible. We're talking 60% more body fat gone. It's like the combination of protein and movement was sending a direct signal to their bodies. Hey, burn the fat, leave everything else.
And that muscle protection we saw before? It got supercharged. They kept 40% more of their muscle. This is the absolute key. This is how you don't just get smaller, you actually reshape your body.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's pretty clear. Protein is not some niche thing for bodybuilders. It is absolutely essential for anyone who wants to lose weight the right way, by losing fat and keeping muscle. And when you spread it out during the day and add just a little movement, well, the results are nothing short of game-changing.
You know, what this all proves is that you don't need to completely turn your life upside down to see a huge difference. It could be as simple as having a protein shake in the morning instead of a bagel, or just going for a walk after work. The
The science shows these small things, powered by protein, can have a massive impact. So the only real question left is, what's one small change you could start with?